Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Cars, Life, and Everything in Between. On today's episode, I have a guest, and his name is Jim Flanagin. He's a dear childhood friend of mine who's on to just talk about life, but more importantly, he has also started his own podcast called The Normal Show. Jim is very passionate about music, and he brings guests onto his show to talk about the music industry, share their passions, listen to old and new music, and hopefully all of his guests who listen discover new types of genres of music that are out there. It's a really fun show, and I hope you guys all check it out. I'll put links into the description below. On today's episode, we do a little bit of a cross episode where he comes on, talks about the music industry, podcasting in general, and him and I share about why we both started our own podcasts, and it's a lot of fun. There's lots of laughs, and we talk about many different subjects other than just music. So, without further ado, I hope you guys all enjoy this episode of Cars, Life, and Everything in Between. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the podcast. Today, we actually have a special guest. His name is Jim Flanagin.
Hello.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Stephen.
What's up? And for the first time, a lot of you guys on Jim's camera angle, you're going to see the other side of our little studio that we have set up here. So, yeah, that's what's usually in the background of the other cameras. But here we are. So Jim is on today. Jim's one of my best friends from high school, grade school, kindergarten. Like,
I went to Meadowbrook for kindergarten.
You did?
So
okay.
I didn't get to Greenbrier until first grade.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably
First grade. Yeah. Wow. Damn. So yeah, this guy's been in my life for a very long time and has been a best friend ever since. And today he's on visiting Chicago from Denver.
Yep.
And you are on because you.
Oh yeah, I have a podcast.
Oh yeah. And what's it called?
It's called The Normal Show. You can check it out on the podcast app in the iTunes store, or you can go to my website, which is thenormalshow.com. Also, I bought a second domain name called jimsparty.org. You can visit. That's in college. I bought a website, so if you're throwing parties, you could just go instead of like telling people the address. I'd like reskin it for every party and like put the address on it.
Wait.
So I just like send out
who's
like where's the party tonight? I'd be like jimsparty.org. Like go to the website. And it would just have like the address and then like
only for your parties though.
Yeah, for the parties that like.
So if you ever threw a party, no one knows where it is. People just go to jimsparty.org.
Yeah. And
it just goes to that.
That's what it used to be. Now it's just my podcast.
Aren't there like Facebook pages for that now? Facebook groups and invites.
There were back then too, but I thought this is way more fun.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, and Matt's here too. I don't. You didn't say hello. You didn't say hello.
How's it going?
I was like, it's been quiet over here. Yeah. So we have a podcast about cars and everything, and you are about music.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's entirely about music. Yeah, I let people pick a theme. My guests have just kind of been friends of mine, and they come on. First hour is usually just a theme. Second hour is kind of like whatever they're into at the moment. I think I'm going to do a format change where it's just the theme. The podcast has been going like 2 hours, and I try and fit 20 songs into 2 hours, and that's kind of a lot. So in an effort to kind of make the conversation a little bit more natural, I think maybe don't do 20 songs in 2 hours.
Yeah, that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've listened to 4 of your episodes.
Nice.
And dude, I love it. I've been having fun.
I
learned a lot about ice cream.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned most about.
I still haven't figured out. Is sorbet like an ice cream, or is it like kind of like an iced cream?
What is sorbet?
Something sort of different. It's just
sorbet
like
is not
things.
ice cream.
What is sorbet?
Hot take.
Well, I know it's not good. I fucking
hate
sorbet. Shots
even
fired.
hotter take.
Shots fired.
They on the podcast they're trying to figure out what sorbet was for like more than half of it.
Yeah.
Between every song, you guys Googling stuff. I still can't find the answer.
Yeah, so sorbet, by definition, is just a dessert consisting of frozen fruit juice or flavored water and sugar. So there's no cream in there. Not under the ice cream category.
You guys solved this in like under a minute. This took us like a half
hour. They just kind of Google real quick.
Yeah.
We don't have computers out in my show.
Yeah,
so.
It helps.
You got to do that.
You guys, you both have computers. I don't have a computer. I just have my phone.
I have the EQ sound going, and
Okay.
I'm like too scared that like something's gonna mess up, and like if I search things, my computer's just gonna freeze. But
Right.
I do sometimes.
So I can just make stuff up, and you can't fact check me.
I can't. He
can.
Oh.
Yes.
His computer is fully immersed into the interwebs. But so with music, the normal show, you know, I've listened to a lot and stuff, and you have a vast knowledge of music and the industry. I don't. I've fallen off music. Matthew here has a very vast knowledge of music as well.
Thank you.
And I don't know why. I just got stuck. I didn't get a Spotify until starting really this podcast. And I just never had like songs on there. And then my iTunes, I just didn't download songs. So like I got stuck in my 8th grade music days. Like,
That's solid, man.
Dude, Sum 41, Blink, like Fall Out Boy, Panic, like that's like all
nostalgia
like,
band.
I'm stuck in that. So I know the words to like every one of those songs and all the old like albums from 08 or so.
Well, I read an article about why music from that period in your life is so impactful to you and why it seems like it has such a deeper meaning. It's because of, you know, puberty and all the hormones that your body's going through. And so when you're pumped up on all these hormones and you're hearing, you know, Sum 41 lyrics for the first time, it's like your 8th grade self is clinging on to it, like, yes, like this defines me. This holds a lot of meaning. So that's why that like particular time in every, you know, music listener's lives like holds kind of like the most sentimental value.
What were you listening to back then, Zayf?
Man, I was listening to a mix of a lot of different things. I mean, I had everything. I was heavily into Modest Mouse by the time I was in 8th grade. I started listening to them around like 5th or 6th grade. I listened to a lot of like, kind of like, I wouldn't call it new metal, but I started listening to like All That Remains around that time. And I listened to a lot of rap music, some hip hop. Nice. I don't know. I kept it pretty diverse. But then again, like Coldplay was like my ride or die like favorite band at that same time. So I was kind of on like both sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I listened to a lot of hip hop at that time in my life.
Nice.
I was like 13. I listened to a lot of Ludacris, 50 Cent.
Hell yeah.
And like Kanye.
Chicken and beer.
Yeah, I was going through my my room this weekend because I was like cleaning everything out for my mom, basically, and which is where I got these documents that I'm gonna pull out at some point in the episode. But I found all my old CDs in this little CD holder I would have that like I would put into my Sony Walkman and just kind of listen to that with like the wraparound behind the headphones.
The kind that would hook over your ears, then your friends could come up behind you and just yank on them? Was that just me, or did they ever get yanked?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Before the glorious days of iPods. Although I think like iPods existed, but I just didn't use it. I just had all these CDs.
I had the same thing. I had a lot of CDs. My sister...
Just clinging to that old format, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That more analog sound.
My sister gave me her... Do you remember those CD like disc things that were like green or red and they like looked like a Walkman, but you pop them open and there's like 30 things.
Yeah.
My sister Katie, she gave me one of those, and that's where I was in like 7th grade maybe at the time when I got my first iPod or for like my birthday or something, and she gave me all of her CDs, and it was all Blink-182, Sum 41, like Lucky Boys Confusion, which is a Chicago group, like Sugar Cult, like all of that stuff, Panic at the Disco, and that's where like I got my music taste. I got it from her. She listened to Atmosphere and like like I don't know, like Lil Wayne and all that stuff as well. I just
two very relatable,
two very similar.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why. I'm just thinking
the Atmosphere and the Lil Waynes, those guys.
I'm just thinking of like the CDs in my head of like where they were, but yeah, so that was my like first experience with music and then I had a CD player and I had the wraparound headphones that there's no way to lay down with them in bed. You're just kind of like on your head and just like, okay, that ear's uncomfortable. But that was my like first like music experience. Yeah. So thank you, Katie.
Yeah, I got a lot of it from my mom, I would say. We used to do this thing in the car back in the day. We had a Lincoln town car. And this is when they had the CD cassettes where you could, you know, it was before like multi-discs were a huge thing. So you'd load them into this individual cassette thing that you stuck in the car. I guess it was like a primitive form of multi-disc. And so we would both pick out like several CDs and we'd load them up. And on the drive to my grandparents' house, we would just like randomly like hit one of the buttons on a CD. And no matter what it was, we'd like let it play through. And that was pretty cool because I'd always hear some weird music that she would listen to when she was in college. And it was a good way to get exposed to some classic music.
Yeah, that's what's great about the CD format is you kind of have to listen to the entire album.
Mm-hmm.
So it forces you to like get the flow, get all those like B-sides and like the songs you wouldn't otherwise listen to, which I think is missing in today's like streaming culture. I feel like I don't know. There are some albums that are just super long nowadays. Like Ray Shremmer's last album had like 32 songs on it. Drake's album has like 20 something songs on it, mostly just for streaming plays because like people will just sit there and like listen to the new Drake album. Yeah, and then so they'll get 26 songs, 26 plays, like an hour and 30 minutes of like streaming time, which I forget what the album equivalent of streaming time is for sales. I think it's like 40 hours is equivalent to one album sale. So even if it's just a single off the album, if it's streamed for 40 hours, it counts as like someone buying an album on iTunes.
I did not know that.
I forget what the album. Yeah, I don't know if that's exact. I'm not. Like I said, you guys have the computers. You can figure this stuff out. I'm just here saying stuff that's unchecked. So
that's what I feel like a lot of podcasts are for.
Yeah, it's for lying mostly.
Yeah, specifically. That's the only reason I spent all this time, effort, and money to get all of this so I could lie with my face on camera and put it out there.
Yeah, put it out there. Misinformation. That's great. Yeah.
But that is interesting. So, because, yeah, you do still see, like, album sales, and it's, like, millions. I'm like, interesting. Yeah. I haven't bought an album in a very long time.
I buy stuff on Bandcamp. I don't know if you know what Bandcamp is.
Yeah, I fuck with Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's a great website. It's, like, the sales pretty much go directly to the artist, so...
It's like a grassroots kind of feeling.
Yeah, like yeah, you can upload your own stuff there. Like anyone can upload something to a Bandcamp.
That's where I found my professor's music. It was all exclusively on Bandcamp.
What was it? Was it like?
It was that one like jazz song I was playing earlier before we sat down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and a bunch of other music professors from like Columbia and DePaul have a band called Maurice. I'm a big fan.
Maurice.
Yeah. I've seen him live like 3 times. I probably creeped him out when I like showed up to the first one. But yeah, good band. Shout out to Maurice.
Interesting.
I need to put you on to some new music. I'm sure you need to as well. You should just put up a blank playlist on Spotify, and we'll just drop a shit ton of music in there.
Yeah.
Or use Apple Music like an adult.
Yeah. Well, okay, Apple Music. I'm on my sister's Spotify, like their
Premium
family account that they have. So in my family, like I pay for Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
I don't know why I said
Amazon Prime.
Amazon. I don't know why I said it like that, but Amazon Prime. My dad's got Netflix, Katie's got Spotify, and then Chrissy's got Hulu. So like we all just mingle each other's accounts. So that's how I do it. So that's why I don't want to pay $10 a month for Apple Music.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no reason to do it.
Right.
Also, Apple has enough money. Fuck them.
Also, Apple can fuck off with every time I open my iTunes on my phone or like my music app on my iPhone, and it pops up with that Apple Music every time I want to search something. It's like
they're trying to push it on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that because I bought it, so I don't have that experience.
You just succumb to the pressure.
But the radio shows on Apple Music are part of the reasons why I wanted to start a podcast. Like Ezra Koenig has a really good radio show called Time Crisis that is just fantastic. I forget who. One of the guys from BC Boys has a really cool show, which is pretty much the format that I stole. It's called the Echo Chamber.
Okay.
But he like lets someone play a song and then he plays his own song. They both talk about it. And he has like a bunch of great artists that he comes on and interviews. Vince Staples has a really cool show. So it's like Spotify. You get all the songs you can stream, but also you get like the radio programs and the podcasts, which is kind of my meat and potatoes. I like that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear that I stole this setup from. Well, I want to say Joe Rogan. But if you also look at a lot of other podcasters, there's not many other ways to do other than having a camera far away and like different angles and like having mics set up and talk. It's like there's only so many ways. Also, if you look at the podcast, they emulate radio shows, which radio shows have been doing that for years. So it's like
we're all calling back to Howard Stern basically at the end of the day.
Yeah, he is kind of the original,
the king of all media.
Yeah.
Man, I went down a Howard Stern rabbit hole the other day. He had some really suggestive stuff on that show.
Oh my
Lord. A lot of
Lord.
very racist, very sexist.
Dude, they've had
like,
everything
really
you could possibly
people.
think of happen on that show. Between callers, guests, the Whack Pack. Truly legendary stuff. I mean, I remember being a little kid and when Sirius Radio first came out, when he first made the switch to Sirius back in like 2004 or something like that, when Howard switched over. And I remember, getting into the car with my dad, and he would have had Howard on, the night before, whatever the last time he was driving the car. We hop in, he turns it on, and then they're in the middle of some just like super racy, like sex, bit where they're launching hot dogs at girls or some shit like that. And my dad would always be really quick to turn it off. And so that's why it kind of became like this enigmatic figure in my head. I was like, damn, I want to like know more about this guy. Like, what is this crazy show? Like, I don't have access to. And then the older I got, like the more I grew to appreciate it. And yeah, man's a legend. I've written like 2 research papers on that guy.
Yeah.
What was the thesis?
Just about like one of them, the topic was like pick an enigmatic figure within the radio industry, someone who's had an influence, and the other one was like go over who you think has had the broadest like reach like in their perspective industry or respected industry. So yeah, shout out to Howie.
Yeah, Howard Stern definitely has. And where was he before Sirius? He got kicked off like other.
He was so he started back in the day at WNBC, back like way back in the day. That's Paul Giamatti plays his boss in the movie about his life. So yeah, he started off at like local stations around the Northeast, and then he kind of like kicked around some different stations. And like every time, once they got their their foothold in a network, they would hold like on-air funerals for all the existing radio stations that are around. They're like, oh, well, we just got into Chicago, so we got to say like rest in peace to like Mancow or wherever it is like, and they would do a funeral because they knew that every market that they like got access to, they completely took over. And so he just like stretched the country, got the biggest reach. And then you name it, like a number of battles they've had with like the FCC and other, the Christian Moms of America, or people that are calling in and trying to shut down his program and saying it's nothing but filth. It's pretty incredible. But I mean, if you can separate the grotesque and sexual stuff, which he's kind of drifted away from, I feel like a little bit as he's gotten older.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it at all.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he still does that the what's it called when the girls sit on like the
the Sibian.
The Sibian.
That's a whole different ballgame.
They still have the Sibian, but anyway.
Yeah, but that aside, the man is just like the most incredible interviewer I think that's alive right now. Like he can interview anybody regardless of whatever their background is. And to me as a listener, like it could be someone who I thought I would have absolutely zero interest in. He could have like Nicki Minaj on there and I'd be like, I am not going to listen to her talk for over an hour. But then he's asking questions that nobody else would. And as a listener, it makes it very attractive to hear like any interview that he has on there. So he's going to get something that nobody else will out of them.
Exactly. And that's why he blew up. And in the last, almost decade, podcasts have just gone through the roof because they're not governed by the FCC. You can say whatever the F you want for the most part.
Yeah, the weird thing is he kind of had these like antiquated views on podcasts. I remember him like specifically like shitting on podcasts. I'm like, oh, like have fun out there. Like you're not doing anything that anyone's listening to. And it's kind of like, well, I get why you would say that, because you have such like a vested interest in your industry and you have such a foothold in like non-terrestrial radio, satellite radio. But like podcasts are a fucking thing. Like so many people listen to podcasts. Like they might not ever hit the same numbers that he has when he can, broadcast globally, but like podcasts are something that's here to stay. And people are making money off them, contrary to what he was believing maybe like 5-10 years ago.
Same with YouTube. When YouTube came out and people were just vlogging and flipping the camera around and filming themselves, people were like, LOL, like you're a weirdo, like whatever. And now look at it. We have some people are making the Pauls.
Thank God, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Logan Paul. I mean, who like any huge vlogger, top 100 vloggers, like they're making thousands and thousands a month minimum at the end of the list, or millions.
And even like Twitch streamers too. Like Ninja makes like $1 million
for like mostly unwatchable content.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you ever actually like sit down and try to watch like 2 consecutive minutes of that shit, it's like wow.
The only things I've ever watched from Twitch are YouTube like compilations of like the best moments of like gaming, and it's like, okay, I get that as entertaining, but then you realize like, oh, that was a 10-minute clip taken from 4 hours of material. Like, what the hell goes on? And it's like, if you do watch it, it's just them sitting like, oh yeah, and they're just typing back at something like. But again,
thanks for donating to my Patreon.
Again, we sit here laughing and.
This is like pretty much what we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Except we aren't making money,
and we're not doing any video games or anything else that people can watch.
We're just talking about other people.
Yeah, you gotta start getting sponsorships. You gotta get like Joe Rogan, get the Butcher Box.
He was sponsored by Fleshlight for a long time.
We could probably get some young Fleshlight in here.
You have those 10-minute insufferable intros.
We gotta find like a. We gotta find.
Video starts at 2:46. Thank me later.
What's weird is it's strange that on all the podcast apps and everything, you can just skip through all that.
Yeah.
You just
duh.
Exact. But it's
so
like
to complain about that, you have to be a dick.
Yes, but I'm surprised that they haven't like during the advertisements just locked in a 5-minute period with the program that you can't
Well, some people do that, like on long podcasts. Like H3 does this, I'm pretty sure, where like in the middle of speaking, and on the YouTube scroll bar, you see one of those little yellow hash marks, and when it hits that, it switches to a commercial.
That's YouTube, but on the podcast app for audio, at the beginning,
like iTunes?
Yeah, they just have to read it
Joe
off a card.
Rogan, they're just reading off for 5 minutes, and you can just skip through, bam, right to
I
the
always
guest.
do too.
Well, exactly.
I don't think I've ever listened to.
I listened to maybe where I know where the guest is, like 30 seconds of the end of something for Square Trade, like buy something, blah blah blah, or like I don't know, fleshlights, like. But then I'm like, oh, hold on, go back, fleshlights, what, 10% off? Hold on. Yeah, I'm surprised on the podcast apps and all the apps they haven't have a program where you lock in for like that period of time. But yeah, and YouTube and stuff, unless you pay for YouTube Red, then you don't have advertisements. And then
what is that, like $10 a month?
$10 a month, or if you have Google Play, it's $10. You can get Google Play Google Music for free with YouTube Red.
It's just ad blocker.
Yeah.
Wait, I guess I haven't seen any of that shit.
I had to re-download Chrome and I didn't download ad blocker. That's why I'm getting ads now on my computer. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Got you, bud.
Well, what would I do without you? Yeah, I don't know. I have no. I mean, there's only on average from my YouTube analytics, there's only I don't know, an average of 6 minutes of people watching this. Mm-hmm. So to those people getting through 6 minutes, thank you.
We appreciate you.
You guys mean a lot. But yeah, I don't know. We should just buy out that NASCAR team though.
Let's do it. We need to buy the NASCAR team.
Your advertising?
Yeah, so there's a NASCAR team that their main sponsor.
We're just gonna put our faces just on the hood.
Yes. Yeah. The caveat is we do need about $10 million.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So I did ask
see a return on that investment.
Yeah.
And go to a bank and just be like, look, so I have this podcast, right?
So I have a podcast. It has 26 subscribers on YouTube and 80 on Facebook. Listen.
It's time for us to talk
business.
Let's get to the brass tacks.
But yeah, no, down the line that'd be cool. I don't know.
Hannibal Buress sponsored a fighter in ONE FC.
That's interesting.
He just put himself on the shorts. Oh no, he put himself, I think, even on the mat, like in the cage.
I don't know how much
like his face was on it. I forget. He was on a talk show talking about that, where he's just like, yeah, like I like this fighter. I'm just gonna put my face.
This is so funny. His face is on the mat.
Yeah. This is people like getting ground and pounded on top of his face.
I'll put it up in post.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's just like, looking at it.
Oh my
looking
God.
over while they're grappling. It looks like two female fighters.
I was at the Hawks game and I was sitting there looking at all the boards and like all the advertising. I'm like, how much would it be to do that? And I know that's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Are you talking about at the Hawks game?
Yeah, Hawks. That's or even like what the fuck's Comiskey Park called now?
Like guaranteed rate field, but not for long. That's just gonna change.
Ugh, that's the worst name
name
in the world. But like they have a
depressing,
lot more,
honestly. Let's go to
they have a lot
rate.
more advertisements than Wrigley does. And I was thinking of like in Cincinnati for the Reds games, they would have like little one-off like places where like you could do for one game. You could advertise. I'm like,
there's green screens too.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder how much it would be to advertise for one game.
A fuck ton.
Or like one inning.
Or they have it flash like 4 times throughout the game.
The car's life and everything in between. Highlight of the game pops up in between plays.
That's got to be a lot of money.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The best way I've decided I'm going to start advertising after I'm going to do like a few more episodes and then buy like 200 stickers with my website name on them and then just post them around at like bars in the city in the bathrooms.
I didn't even think about that.
Like on the mirror.
On the Facebook page, I've gotten.
I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know if I'm incriminating myself. But
no,
like, so
everyone
I'm not going to do that.
You'll have a buddy do it.
Yeah.
Or if anyone else, no one would ever.
If somebody wanted to, this is something they could do for me.
Though on the Facebook page, there's been random people joining the page. Like I've had people from like Montana that have no relationship to anyone or any of my friends, and like I'm like,
Are you doing paid promotion? Or
I did. I got $15 for free, and I was just
nice.
like, boom, put it up, and I've only used $5 of it. So I'm probably gonna use the other one for this episode or whatever else, and then maybe down the line I'll think about it. But there's some other stuff you could definitely do with podcasting. Advertising.
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook yet.
So So I found that's the biggest reach.
Yeah,
it's most people use Facebook. There's and with the feed and how it chronologically puts stuff with likes and the ratio and whatever algorithm they use. I found like that's the easiest way to do it. Most people see stuff like it. But then I looked up, I had like 500 views on one thing. I was like, oh hell, or 600. But then like Facebook's algorithm is like, if someone watches like 3 seconds, it counts as a view. I'm like, okay.
It's like a unique visit still though. That's
an impression. Again, I've had random people from around the country like just join the page. Awesome. And like, I'm like, okay. And they've liked stuff. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do a big episode on October 15th. It's going to be like very long form. It's like, I've been researching this one guy for like 2 months, and I'm gonna do like a biopic episode. It's gonna be like 4 hours, like Dan Carlin style.
Oh my god.
This guy Fela Kuti, he's like an African musician, and I'm gonna talk. I don't know if you've heard of him before, Fela. So I'll give you just like a little kind of preview. But this guy in the 60s and 70s in Nigeria was like a super counterculture figure to like the very corrupt Nigerian government. So much so that he started his own country within the borders of Nigeria called the Calcutta Republic, and wrote a song so controversial that the government sent 600 soldiers to his house and like killed his mom.
Whoa.
So he's like a big deal.
Wow.
So I'm gonna do like a full like life story on him, I think.
Holy shit. How controversial was his song?
It's a song called Zombie, and it's all about just like Nigerian soldiers, how they're all zombies. And like the government just like the president got so pissed off that he was like, fuck this guy, like
damn,
sent all these soldiers to his house. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. That would be incredible. He is coming on, or
no, he's dead. So
I thought you said
I'm doing an episode on him. I'm like yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, and it was just a side note. It was like after I do that episode, I want to promote that.
Oh, okay.
Because that's one that I've like the other episodes are great, and I love all of my guests that I've had on, but I wanted to like research one out and like do one that's like super informative.
Gotcha.
And then promote that one once I get that up. So I might spend some Facebook dollars, or maybe start a Facebook, or spend some Instagram dollars.
Do a group. Go to hit up Chris Walls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He'll make a banner for you. He did the Cars Live and everything. Thank you, Chris Walls. Shout out to Chris Walls. Yeah, he makes incredible work. So if anyone needs any type of artwork, media, advertising, anything, Chris has got you. Yeah, that would be very interesting. Hopefully I'll have a guest on next weekend for the nuclear engineering or the nuclear world, and how I believe that's like the green future, energy future for this world. If we can do it right. I argue it is the cleanest form of energy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's clean as far as like the actual process, but I feel like just building nuclear facilities are pretty
what about the byproduct?
So the
byproduct, real quick.
So byproduct, as long as it is uranium, what was it, 251 or whatever, as long as you can house it properly and cool it, there really isn't too big of an issue. But if you look at the carbon footprint of what uranium does, it's virtually zero. And uranium and you can have enough that you can just hold little slabs in the palm of your hand, and that can power cities for a month. If you think like 200 years, 300 years ago, you went back in time and was like, listen, there's gonna be time, or when light bulbs first came around and you were like, listen, there will be hundreds of thousands of homes and I can power it with this little thing. People will just be like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. What are you talking about? We need to burn coal. We need fire and energy and turbines and heat to do all that. It's like, no. You just plop that in some water. It heats water up and makes a turbine go. That's it. That's all we need. And that would be like mind blowing. And we've done that, yet like no one really talks about it still. Like nuclear is like, holy shit, that's
it's crazy.
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, they've been using it since the 50s too.
Pure witchcraft. And then if we can, I just argue if we can put more research and energy into fusion instead of fission.
Yeah.
So fission, right now we are breaking down the half-life of
we're splitting it.
You're splitting it, the compounds. If you can use fusion energy, then that would be probably the most important discovery of technological advancement.
Right. So
moving forward forever in human
I went
history.
to a fusion reactor in Japan, actually, in North Japan, and I saw the supercomputers, like the 26th most powerful supercomputer in the world at the time. This was in 2013, and it's a massive facility. The computer is probably the size of this entire floor of this apartment building. It was just huge, like tons and tons of servers and everything was powering this thing. So the only issue is it just takes a ton of gold, and it takes like a ton of power to get it started. So like right now it takes more power to create a power output to fuse the atom together than
we'd be fusing hydrogen together.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now we're at almost a 50-50, meaning we put as much energy in as it comes out. If we could just tip it to 49.9 and 50.1,
and change everything.
We've got it, and we can just work from there. So that'll be that.
Yeah, you're gonna have a nuclear scientist on, so don't listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So that we'll keep that for some other time. But yeah, I don't know. That'll be in the future at some point. So. That'll be fun.
We need it.
All right, I'm going to pop this open.
Pop it open? I'm going to get another beer. Do you have another one in there?
Would you mind just popping a couple in the fridge? I'm literally drinking a warm beer right now. It's actually very, very unpleasant.
That was the one thing we forgot.
Yeah. Just throw them in the freezer.
Freezer? Okay. Boom.
All right, I'll pop this up when you get back.
So what are these, some like classified documents you got here?
Yeah, these are classified documents I found in my room.
Is this part of like the Trump P tape or something like that?
Yeah, this is the P tape, actually.
That's the tape right there?
I found it, yeah.
Wow.
Turns out I had it. It's from a Russia trip I took back in high school.
Nice.
Yeah. Crazy how that works like that. So, before Steven gets back, what's 3 albums that you've been listening to lately that you...
Automata Part 1 and 2 by Between the Buried and Me.
Okay.
Very newish release. Another one has been the first 5 tracks off of Coheed and Cambry's and Heavenly Creatures. That's an album that comes out soon.
Oh, nice.
And then third one, I'm just trying to think of stuff that's been like newer that I've picked up on. This new album by a band called River of Nile. That is a new band I just got turned on to. That has been awesome. Big fan of River of Nile. If you've never heard of them.
No, I haven't. So this is all metal. You're all just
so Between the Buried and Me and Coheed and Cambry, I guess I'd classify as more like prog metal.
Yeah.
Coheed and the Cambry is almost completely exclusive, like clean singing. So I don't really like to give it that real metal category. Almost, it's more just like rock. And then River of Nile, I would just call like death metal. Yeah. But yeah, so no.
I saw Coheed and Cambry in junior high.
Dope.
They're great.
Yeah, I'd totally
see them again.
I've seen them like 14 times in concert.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
I like them. Most recently, Casey and I saw them right over there at Northerly Island. It was awesome.
Yeah.
$16 beers though, brutal.
Ugh.
Oof.
$16.
Damn.
For a 312. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I honestly would take a moment to reflect on that price.
That like a 12-pack of 312 is $16.
Yeah. This is granted. This is for a tall boy, but like, come on.
A tall boy?
Yeah, tall boy.
Tall boy.
A tall boy. All right, bust this thing up.
Russian documents.
The P tape we're about to see.
The P tape.
Greenbrier School yearbook from 5th grade.
Oh my lord. No way.
So this is the first one I found. I was just like cleaning out my shelves and.
What did you write on this?
No, that was a certificate that I won at senior night. It was like for free personal training or something. I won in some contest.
I thought
I just like threw it out. It expired a while ago. Yeah, no, I just.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see if we can pull up Steven Meisko.
Oh no, Jesus!
So get a look at this.
God.
Get a look at his face. See if we can pull that up to the camera.
I can scan it in, but holy.
Yeah, you can scan that so everyone can see. I'm gonna read it.
Oh my god! Wait, how old was I? Why did I write?
So you can read mine too.
Write your own stuff about yourself and all the yearbooks.
Oh my god,
cool.
This is amazing.
They interviewed us. They asked us like 10 questions.
I love it.
My name is Steven Meisko. My favorite activities, hobbies, or interests include making models and riding bikes. You still ride bikes?
I still ride bikes.
Yeah. Your favorite song is Disturbed, Get Down with the Sickness.
Nice.
It's just Disturbed, Get Down with the Sick. It's spelled with S-I-C.
That's Steven's in his new metal phase at this point. Get Down with the Sick.
Favorite TV shows, The Simpsons. Great choice. Good taste. Favorite movies, Matrix Reloaded. And
interesting choice.
Yeah. I think it would come out at the
I think I
top.
liked it. I love that movie for the car chase scene. I was obsessed.
That was a good scene.
Your favorite foods are spaghetti. Your favorite Greenbrier memory is 4th grade. It's like the whole year.
Just the whole
is
year.
your favorite memory.
Man.
What I will miss about Greenbrier is very little homework. So, yeah.
Man.
how
you
it's turned
recognized it
up.
was easy then.
Yeah, you knew how good you had it.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. The 3 words that best describe me are funny and smart. You only picked 2. You couldn't get 3.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
And then years from now, it said you'd want to be a movie star and a vet. I don't know what kind of vet, though. Like a veterinarian or like
A veteran.
A true veteran, yeah. Man, that's good.
Let me see these young
yeah,
Mysco pictures.
That's rich. That's rich. I'll have to scan that in or something. Or like take a picture of the phone and get it up there.
So are these both Steven?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
that's so funny.
oh my lord, that's amazing.
Yeah. Your teeth came in by 4th grade, huh?
Yeah.
A handsome
I was,
boy.
I was a, I was
some
a,
chompers.
I was a sexy man back then, dude.
Some chompas. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Are you in here?
Yeah, I'm in there.
Oh, come on, let's get to
I'm
you.
earlier in. I didn't really read mine. I popped open and the staples were such that yours was the one that came up. So as soon as I opened it, it just like went to this page, and I was like, oh well, I guess I'm bringing this on the podcast tomorrow.
That was gold. That was
Legendary.
rich. God damn it, funny and smart. 3 words. Dude, you know
That's
dude,
explains so
was
much.
that 4th grade?
I think this is 5th grade.
5th grade?
I wanna say this.
Whatever the 5th grade teacher we had was just like,
What an idiot.
oh my god. All right. My name is Jim Flanagin. My favorite activities include snowboarding, skateboarding, and taekwondo. That still holds up for the most. Well,
I don't do taekwondo anymore.
you're doing
or
jiu-jitsu.
skateboarding. Really. Yeah, I'm doing jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, which you need to teach me. Favorite song is Stunt 101. I don't even know.
By G Unit. Teach us.
I don't know if I know that
Remember
one.
That one's lost on me.
That was a banger.
That was a banger.
Still is.
G Unit.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. G Unit. I know G Unit.
Unit.
I guarantee you, like, there's songs.
50
I know.
Cent, Tony Yayo. Who else was in it? There's 3 guys.
Dude, okay, you need to know something about my life. I didn't have cable until sophomore year.
I know that.
Talking
Yeah.
to a very sheltered human.
I didn't have cable till sophomore year.
The
of,
Game,
of
Kid, Lloyd Banks.
high
Squad.
school. My favorite program was Nova on Channel 11, WTTW, public broadcasting.
I thought it was The Simpsons.
Well,
Were you just lying?
no, well, The Simpsons.
Funny and smart.
Okay. Without cable, I don't know if everyone remembers this, but you had either 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 20,
12.
23, 32, 37 was Mexican, and then or Hispanic, and then 50, and that was it. And then 60 was another Hispanic channel. So you had 11 channels total. So 32 was Fox. So that's where The Simpsons would go: Simpsons, Malcolm in the Middle, Simpsons, Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched all those in a row from 5:30 to 7 or 5,
That's quality
5 to 6:30. Yeah, I remember I would watch every day. I would watch Simpsons, Malcolm in the Middle, Seinfeld. So I just like didn't have that. So then like also music, I just like I barely remember discovering Kazaa back in the day and like downloading stuff. You don't know?
Kazaa is that program?
Because this was like LimeWire days. Before
okay.
This was before LimeWire. Kazaa. That was like where you illegally pirated music.
I'd never heard of Kazaa.
Really?
I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to see if I recognize his logo.
Kazaa, and then what was it?
I'd had Napster and then LimeWire.
Napster was the first, then Kazaa, then LimeWire came out, and LimeWire then you were able to put MP4 format on, which was videos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, favorite song was Stunt 101. Favorite TV show SNL. That's a good, mature, smart show for
Loved it.
Funny,
fifth
smart guy
grade.
kind of
Yeah.
choice.
Favorite movie: The Last Samurai. Okay.
That shit made me cry when I saw it in theaters. When Tom Cruise is just like getting shot up.
Yeah.
Him and who's that other guy that's just like plays the old Japanese guy.
That actor, I know. Yeah, I know that guy.
It's like Ken Watanabe or whatever.
Yeah, he's a really good.
And he's like,
it's
just like,
dude. He looks the same today. That
Yeah.
actor. He's dope. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's great.
He's a good actor. Favorite food: bacon and spaghetti.
Spaghetti Boys.
Spaghetti boys.
Nice.
Spaghetti boys. Favorite Greenbrier memory: building snow farts.
Spell with an A.
It looks like an A a little
My
bit.
terrible handwriting. My handwriting hasn't changed since
Oh,
that came out.
Mine's
by the way.
atrocious.
Yeah.
It's sad. if I write stuff,
We have computers now.
Yeah.
You don't need to write stuff.
We don't do that. But yeah, snow farts are your favorite. What I would miss most is recess. Yeah. Dude, king of the hill. We just shove each other off that.
Yeah.
God damn it, Bobby.
3 words that best describe me are short, nice, and talkative. Short. I remember
I was very short.
You were very
I
short
had
back
a little
then.
complex about it. Yeah. Short kid.
Yeah. And then you grew.
I didn't grow till like sophomore year of high school. I was still like 5'2" freshman year of high school. It was very small.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no clue what I was freshman year. I don't know. But yeah, I do remember you were definitely like shorter. But now, like, I wouldn't fuck with you because you do a lot of fighting. And then years from now, I would like to be taller and a pro snowboarder. Aw.
I got taller.
You got taller.
How's the snowboarding coming?
Didn't pursue that. Yeah.
Snowboard. Well, you're out in Colorado. You can snowboard whenever.
Yeah.
Lucky motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't snowboard that much though. It's kind of a whole thing to get up to the mountains these days.
It's a schlep.
Yeah. The traffic's getting really bad. All these people are just keep moving to Colorado. So it takes like hours to get down, hours to get back.
This is crazy. I'm just going through this and just looking at the names. I'm like,
yeah, right?
Right?
There's like teachers and stuff at the back too.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not going to say everyone's name, but
There's
some
names.
There's some names up in here. Kurt Pappas. He won't mind, but damn, Kurt. Good old Kurt. All right. That was great. I did not expect this at all.
Yeah, right?
That's fucking hilarious.
So I didn't want to give anything away. I was like, I'm just going to capture this in the moment.
That was great. That was good. We'll take pictures of it after this.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll put some pictures up.
All right, should we explore the other document? I only brought 2 things.
You brought 2 things?
I brought 2 things.
Oh my god.
This one is a picture from something that didn't happen too far from this location. It's it was kind of a little bit too big for the folder. German field trip.
Oh man. Jurgen.
I think this was like at the end of high school
Was
when
that the
everyone
Chris
signed
Kindle
it. But
mark?
the picture was from the Chris Kindle mark where we just such shit.
We were the
It was
worst.
so bad.
What was our teacher's name?
Frau Byrne.
Frau Byrne.
Yeah.
We were.
I'm still friends with her on Facebook. She looks like she's doing great.
I hope she is. We were
Yeah.
such.
I know, we were so
fucks.
bad.
We were bad.
We were bad kids.
If I could somehow like, Frau.
I'm so sorry.
Which number one
Es
is
tut mir
bad.
leid.
Which is bad because we'd always be like, Frau, Frau, like in class. And then she's like, you do realize you're literally just yelling woman at me. Because Frau's woman. Bird. We're just like, she's like, you realize you're just yelling woman at my face. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
this is
oh.
offensive. We're just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we were the worst. Frau, I hope you're doing good. Sorry that we were such pieces of shit back in high school.
Yeah, I ended up getting my German minor, so thanks for like inspiring me.
Yeah.
Even though I was not very nice.
I just had to take one more. I took 1 class in college and that was it. Damn. Yeah, that's funny. Very nice.
So
Good shit.
#TBT.
Yeah. Boom. I'm trying to think what I wrote on here. I don't know.
Yeah, and everyone had their fake German names on it.
You were Jurgen, I was Jurgen, and who else? Akio was Jurgen?
He was
We
Jurgen.
were all
Oh yeah,
Jurgen.
because there's the 3 of us.
Jurgen.
Yeah.
We were all Jurgen. And then we were unanimously just the worst in the class.
Yeah,
every year,
year.
Jurgen. And I'm pretty sure that like year after, she's like, I don't want anyone to be Jurgen anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, Jurgens
Cursed.
are just, oh my god. Jurgen. Damn. That was good. Good shit. Damn. But do you have the Russian P tape?
I do. Yeah.
When are you gonna leak it, bruh?
When the time's right. You'll
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
You guys will just know.
Yeah.
When it gets leaked, it was me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Sweet.
Sweet.
That is kind of weird. So I don't even know everything about that. I'm like ignorant to like that specific thing. But,
It's
like,
just a rumor.
It's a rumor, but wasn't like a British spy agent that like believes that it's real or
Tom Arnold has a show about it on Vice.
yeah.
Where have you guys seen this?
No.
I've seen previews for it.
He has like a TV show where he's like trying to find the P tape.
Amongst like everything else. You know,
Yeah.
all the other allegations.
That's kind of a waste of time. I'm just amazed that he hasn't been impeached yet. But the P tape's the least of the worries. I'm sure there's plenty of humans that are like, yeah, no, I get peed on all the time by my wife. Like, that's just a normal thing. Like, I don't know why I'm gonna judge this man.
Yeah, you know,
Although
he is without sin, throw the first stone, man.
Yeah. So, but he also did it with hookers in the bed that Obama. That guy is just like so, like, just towards Obama, just vindictive,
racist.
Racist, like vindictiveness of just hating him. Anything he does, he just can't tolerate. It's just
he's like I don't know. It sucks because he's hilarious. He's like really funny. Like, I wish he didn't have any actual power and there's like no consequence to like the things that he said. He could just kind of be like America's special little guy. And like he could just walk around.
We're talking
just,
wettest
like, saying,
from the standpoint of water.
Yeah.
That is objectively hilarious.
It's really funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, the fact is that like the White House, like whoever was filming that and doing the editing for it, and like he filmed that officially for like the White House, and like whoever's like, and there was like standing there, nice background, blown out, nice camera, everything. Whoever like was like editing that had to be like, holy shit.
Okay,
dude.
fine.
Like, all right, dude, sign that, stamp it, and send it out. Like, oh my God, that is the most powerful man in the world. Just about like wettest from the man. He said some amazing things.
Yeah, it's like super funny. I mean, it's so funny we forget how funny Bush was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It makes Bush look amazing. I want Bush back.
I don't know. Bush had some good humor as well.
He did. Bush,
unintentional.
Yeah. Well, unintentional. But also, Bush, like during the White House correspondent dinners, would bring on impersonators of himself. He'd be like, "Yeah, let's do this. Like, this is funny. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm easy to make fun of. Let's do it." He owned it. Whereas Trump can't handle anything. Like, and that's just so sad.
He doesn't even show up at those correspondence dinners.
Which is amazing. Which is just gonna make any comedian or act that's there just rip him even more.
That gives everyone more ammo.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yet people just defend him with their life, and which is like so strange to me too. Is like you see like people like Trump's supporters at like rallies, like getting angry during the election, like Hillary and Trump fighting, supporters fighting. Like there's no one in my life, like there's no celebrity or anyone that I would get that enthralled with, and like in such a you know I'm trying to think of the word, like just like take so much.
It's
like,
cult of personality. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you really want to get into this?
No.
Do you want to go down this rabbit hole? I mean, there's just it's people that have, you know, you've been screwed over for a system for so long. You're looking for an out. This guy says he's not part of the swamp and everything that's kind of, you know, made it so that you don't have health care and like you don't have a job that you used to have that was secure back in the 90s or whatever. Like everything's going to automation. Now you have someone that's like, I'm going to bring it back for you.
Yeah.
And I also talk like you.
And yeah, that makes sense. I was living in Kentucky and Cincinnati for a while, like going into like places in Kentucky that I've never seen, where I'd go into like I would just kind of drive through like to trailer parks or something. I would like drive through really quick. It's like, this is like growing up in the suburbs of Chicago. That doesn't exist. And you'd see like RV homes or like mobile homes with cardboard as their windows and a satellite dish and like a rusted out car from the late 90s. I'm like, yeah, these are the people that no one really...
they're super disenfranchised.
Extremely.
Yeah. I mean, they'd benefit from a lot of stuff like, you know, universal health care and all these other things who provide a lot of really good things in their lives, but
a social
they're
net.
going to keep they're going to keep voting for Republicans because Democrats are like, they're just going to make fun of people from that part of the world instead of finding ways to support them.
It's just tribalism.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Toxic tribalism. It is. That is sad though. That's the thing. I remember going through a few trailer parks and I was just like, wow, that's just not like anything in my, you know,
your realm of experience.
I was gonna say vernacular of my mind, but I was like, that's more vocabulary. That has nothing.
That's deep.
Yeah.
The vernacular.
The
of your
vernacular
mind.
of my mind is an enigma.
Yes, but yeah, no, that's definitely, that's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But at least we're in this apartment right now, right?
Hey.
Hey.
True. No, as far as things go, life's pretty. I have nothing to complain about, and I've got this podcast, lovely, beautiful friends here with me. Yeah.
And so do you want to talk a little more?
Who's getting a call?
I'm sorry, I'm getting FaceTime.
There's-
Right now. I had it on vibrate.
I was like,
I'm on Do Not Disturb.
we're silencing phones. We're putting it on moon mode.
I'm sorry.
We have the little moon in the corner.
Let me just send a. I can't talk right now.
Yeah, you want to chop a little more about music?
We can. Let's talk about cars. What car are you driving these days?
Oh yeah, I was gonna think about like car stuff to talk about. I can tell you what the car that I own.
What car do you own?
My cars that I like.
What car do you own?
I own a 2010 Mitsubishi.
Oh.
Yeah, Japanese cars. Mitsubishi.
What was that
What is
reaction?
it?
Gallant.
No, wait.
Outlander.
Yes,
Sport.
Outlander.
Hey,
Outlander Sport.
Outlander
Yes.
Sport, baby.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It gets good gas mileage.
Those are good looking cars. Like for a little compact crossovers.
It's kind of raised a little bit
Yeah.
so that like I can like I've taken it up mountains and stuff and I haven't had issues with it. It's 2-wheel drive.
Really?
Yeah.
The Outlander Sport is a good car. It's like
Also, I'm getting hot.
it's gonna get hot in here. It starts
Starting to sweat.
going up. Whenever I edit off of this camera here, looking at you, I can see from like the beginning,
temperature just, like,
it's 60.
slowly-
I can see the temperature
We're
coming
chilling,
up.
we're chilling at 71 right now. It's not
71.
too bad.
I've seen it go up to like 76 at the end.
Oh,
it like
it'll-
starts at 68.
If we do it
goes
during
all the
a
way
sunny day,
Yeah.
it's fun.
I was gonna have some more car stuff for you. Just like ask like questions.
Yeah, you can ask questions.
Well, I got wrapped up this morning buying the
the
little third camera
Yeah.
here for you. And I just totally didn't come up with any really good stuff.
What kind of car questions were you thinking? Like,
I was gonna do a comparison.
oh,
Kyle, which would you rather?
You can do that. You can think of 2 cars right now. You do like a Nissan Skyline and like the Toyota Crown or something.
oh, we're getting very niche.
Those are very. All right. How about cars that like no more?
Okay, brand new Nissan GTR Nismo package.
Okay, I don't know what Nismo means, but I know what
It's the
GTR is.
fastest version, most track prepped, or a fully loaded Acura NSX.
NSX.
Okay,
Yeah, I think the NSXs look better.
More
GTR
attractive.
just kind of looks like a video game car
cool.
to me.
Yeah,
It does look like a Hot Wheel car.
It does. And like I don't like spoilers that much.
Yeah. You need that downforce though, bro.
Yeah, but like
especially when your car weighs over 4,000 pounds.
4,000 pounds, and you need to be cornering. When you
Right.
take a corner at 30 miles an hour, you need that downforce.
Can we just take a second, speaking of downforce, to bring up the fact that I sat in a McLaren Sunny yesterday? That was real life. I didn't just dream that. And that car produces 1,800 pounds of downforce at 100 plus miles per hour.
what does that mean?
1,800 pounds of downforce?
What
It's
does
like
that mean?
it's like 1,700
Explain-
something.
No
Explain
way
for
at
the
100
layman.
miles an hour.
Explain what you guys are
155.
talking about.
Okay, yeah, 155. Everything's at 100.
But they said below 100. So
This doesn't mean anything.
So
to me.
downforce is
the opposite of an airplane wing. So as airplanes use
Yeah,
wings to
I
stay up, cars use
imagine-
wings to stay down.
and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shoves your tires into the ground. And
So
puts more
why is
perfect friction.
1,800 a lot? What's like an average for like what would my Outlander get? You think?
Probably 0. I don't know if there's any down. I don't know if downforce is occurring.
To a point 0 / over your windscreen. I'm sure there's like maybe like 100 pounds or a little
Oh,
more.
okay.
But like that's
Then
not
1,800's a lot.
not usable for sport. That's just so there's drag, which you would actually be experienced what's called heave. So drag would be your front fascia of your car, your front bumper and everything hitting the air in front and just pushing your car back. And then also drag also happens from the back when there's a negative air pressure zone behind a car. It's actually creating a vacuum, and the atmosphere behind it is actually pulling the car back because it wants to put air in. It's kind of a very intricate explanation.
No, that
but
makes sense.
but then your windscreen and other things would, I guess, create downforce. But that would create, I guess, well, no, that would just create downforce. Heave is when, like, Formula One cars have heave. That's when there's way too much downforce in the tires, and you hit a point where you can't go any faster. It's just limited. It's just smashing the tires into the ground, and the tires are gripping the pavement, and it can't actually push anymore. The skid plates are sparking up. So that's heave. So that's
Why would that ever occur in a
well, I was just
Outlander?
I was just well, no, it wasn't. But I was just thinking as far as the Senna, 1,800 pounds. Is it 1,800 to 155?
So okay, so they say 800 kilograms, which I believe is just under 1,800 pounds. I'll confirm.
Well,
that
800
right now.
is times 2.2, so it'd be more like 17. It'd be 1,800. Yeah.
We're talking exactly 1,763. So 1800.
Boom. Did I say 1750?
Yeah,
I did say 1750.
Nice.
Okay, so that's insanity.
Smart
That is a
and
lot.
nice.
That is insanity.
Smart
That's
or
reaching-
Yeah, or funny. Yeah.
Smart and nice.
We're talking like, GT3 car levels of downforce and near GT3 car levels of suspension. And
What does GT3 mean?
GT3 is a specification of race cars. FIA is kind of like the governing body of motorsports, the Federal Automotive Institution, or Federal Institution. It's like an Italian. So anyway, it's a governing body, and then they regulate, for which kind of race cars. They all have to meet a certain specification when it comes to weight, horsepower, aero drag, amount of downforce, the size of their wing comes into play. So there's a bunch of different classes of cars. GT3 is just kind of like a defining class for cars that were originally based on road cars but have been heavily modified since then. Okay. So there's a class below that called GT4, which is where they're more closely resembling to their road car origins than they are in GT3. But GT3 cars, fully stripped out, every single panel is going to be lighter weight carbon fiber. It's like almost like a homologated version of the road car, but it's faster.
It's a good word.
Yeah, it's full cage.
Full cage.
Horsepower restrictions.
It uses
sometimes
the same basic frame of just about, like, there's still even changes in that with GT3, but it uses basically, like, take your car, take every single panel off, take the dashboard off, take everything, and take all the seats out, and you're left with just the basic frame and crash support system.
So it's like a stock car almost, but like more closer to a
regular car. Correct. Yeah, that's a good explanation. Yeah.
Where stock cars all use the same crate motor. All the manufacturers.
Right. Yeah, so that's what's called a silhouette.
Right.
So stock NASCARs are just silhouettes. They're all the same car, but they kind of be made to look like.
The cool thing about GT3 is you'll have, for example, like the Audi and Lamborghini V10s, which are all capped at about the same power as the Porsche flat 6 engines versus the Acura with their twin turbo V6. Everyone, Mercedes has their 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo. So there's all these different types of power plants, and some are more efficient at some things than others, but then some might have inherent weak points in reliability, or some might not be able to run their original turbos all through a 24-hour race session. So some cars have just like better advantages than others when it comes to certain things.
So the street car, the McLaren.
They do that up at Road America, right?
That's we were just there a little while ago, like a month or two ago.
I went there in like high school, I think. Did I go there with you? I think I might have.
Maybe. I used to go with Brenner back in the day. Maybe you went with
Brenner.
You may have gone with him back in the day.
I remember they had really good corn.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Really
corn. You were there. The corn proved it. But yeah, it's crazy. There's a street car out there that has aero that is incredibly sufficient, just like a GT3 car.
So we're talking a car that makes, because it's not regulated to any specific restrictions, it's making way more power than these GT3 cars are making. Similar weight, just as much downforce, if not more, depending on the car. So it's just like,
and it's straight to consumer.
And it's straight to consumer. The cars even they haven't gone out yet. They're all pretty much spoken for. But like the base price on them was like $850,000 base. But I guarantee not a single person paid that much. Everyone's going to option them to at least like $1 million with different options on them.
Yeah, it's a relatively.
And I overheard one of the GMs discussing a Senna that they already have within like a network that they can pull from, and they were already asking like 2.2 for it. So it's like already more than doubled in value, and the car hasn't even come out yet. So anyway, I was able to climb around in one yesterday, which was pretty incredible.
Climb around.
Yeah.
Well, get over the seats.
It was tough. I mean, I've driven 2 McLarens before, but this one has full, carbon racing bucket seats, where, they're describing how by putting padding not on the entire seat, but just on the pressure points, they're able to save like 470 grams of weight. So every single, gram and ounce matters on these cars. So climbing into it was a bit of a trick because the thing's all the way down on the ground, and I'm 6'3", and then I had to like maneuver down into it, but then get my ass like into this really rigid bucket. I mean, there's no give. So that was interesting, but I'm just like, I still kind of feel really cool that I got to climb in that car because that's a badass automobile.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a handful of people that get to do that in the world.
And I mean, that's at the moment, that's probably the fastest production track car like in existence.
Oh.
It's for sure faster than a P1.
Oh, I mean, that goes without saying.
Even though it's
I'm
down on
I'm
power,
comparing,
but
I'm comparing it to, the Mercedes Project One Aston Martin Valkyrie. Those cars haven't even really set on the tracks yet. So at the moment, I'm saying the Senna is the fastest track car in the world. And the Senna GTR is a concept that hasn't even come out yet. So that's an extra 200 kilograms of downforce. So we're talking like 2,200 pounds of downforce on the Senna GTR. That's like alien technology at that point.
It essentially could drive upside down in a tunnel at that speed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it went over 160 miles an hour, it would just...
Like, is that Men in Black when they do that?
Yeah, that is.
They're going fast enough. That Lincoln Continental had enough.
Yeah.
Is that a Continental they're driving?
There were some massive.
Yeah, that thing had just great aero.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a cool car. I'm glad I got to experience that. The GM also talked about how the exact car that we saw at the showroom that they had it at, he had actually just driven in Portugal like a month earlier on the racetrack. So it's just goes to show how rare these cars are when they were just pushing on the track. But now it's in our dealer and it's going to Canada today. It's just kind of bopping around doing like a full press tour.
How many Sennas are going to be made? You would know the answer.
Like less,
100.
I think like 300. Let me check.
Yeah.
My ear really hurts in these headphones.
You can take it off if you want. I'll monitor
A
you.
little bit.
I'll monitor you.
Oh.
Although then
Yeah.
we can't mess with
You
the
can
effects.
see my cow fire ear. How does it look today?
It
good.
looks that's swollen. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to do. That's why I'm like scared of jujitsu.
Yeah, I mean, you can just get rid of it. I drained it like 4 times. Shouts out to my doctor, Travis Barlock, my back alley doctor. You go over to his house, he just sticks a needle in it and drains out the
do you know?
blood.
So do you know of any good jujitsu studios
In Chicago?
Yeah.
You could talk to Logan Weintraub if you're going to be living in Northbrook. Are you going to be living in Northbrook? Yeah, you said you're going to be living in Northbrook for the winter. Yeah, so there's a really good one that I went to in 2013 over by Dundee and Frankston, I think. Barry Phillips, Cole Phillips' dad, they call him professors, like the black belts at the school are called professors. He is an awesome dude. And he's like a really good teacher. He's a pretty strong guy. He's like an older, like 60-year-old dude, like kind of skinny, old Jewish guy, but he just like shreds. Like he's a badass. So I'd highly recommend checking him out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been after like listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and I'm just like, I might as well try something new.
Yeah, Joe's really funny about it. He's just so intense.
Yeah,
you'll have someone that's like a scientist or like completely does not give a shit about jiu-jitsu, and he'll just go on this rant of like, man, jiu-jitsu is like the most important thing that I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like religion for me, man.
And it builds confidence. All these people and all these men who have
things.
They just need to do martial arts.
They need to do martial arts. The young men and all these incels out here. All right, it's like goes into that. But yeah, man.
Yeah, check it out. I don't know. Go see if you like it. If you don't like it, don't do it. There's people who just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can always tell like someone will walk in like they'll just not like it. So do something else.
Yeah. I
it's
mean, that's life.
hobby. Yeah.
That's life. Yeah. Try stuff and be like, yeah, not for me.
Yeah, but there are definitely evangelists out there that'll like Joe Rogan that'll just talk about it for hours, and like I try not to talk about it too much because I can tell people just don't care. Like I'm sure you feel the same way about cars sometimes, where you're going off for like 20 minutes and then like their eyes have glazed over, they start looking at their phone, and then you're like, oh wow, I've been boring this person.
Usually by 20 minutes I've figured it out, but like I'll definitely if I'm talking to like girls, I'll be like, yeah, cars. I'm like, oh well, so I saw this like race recently. Okay, hold on, here's the thing. I'll like start explaining. I'll be like, wait, hold on.
You don't give a shit about anything I'm talking about.
And you know nothing. I usually do try to like include stuff in their life with cars, because I think I mean the automotive industry has literally shaped our world.
Yeah.
Our entire
for better or
street
for worse.
grid.
You can go to LA and you see that.
Yeah, but our entire street system, our grid, everything is based off of how do we get from here to there.
Yeah.
And the
how do we
only
use
economical
the
way to
most
do it.
individual, personalized, just convenient for me way to live in this city.
Exactly. So the entire world is shaped around. Okay, we need to get humans from there to there, and we have these boxes with rolling wheels. That's the most efficient way.
Specifically the United States.
Yes.
Too.
So yes, I mean, I guess
that's why everything's so spread out.
Yeah,
we don't have good trains.
We talked about this in episode 1.
Episode 3.
Okay, I didn't listen to episode 3 yet. I did listen to episode 5 on the train though.
Hey.
I did.
Was that the Speed one?
That was you were
Speed
talking
2.
about film, yeah.
Speed and
I gotta shout you out for just like drastically mispronouncing mise en scène.
Mise en scène.
You're like
mise en scene.
mise en scene. I was like,
That's my white guy pronunciation.
Ooh.
French people are white guys, but American guy.
my American guy's pronunciation.
America.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. I like the iPod Shuffle, iTunes Shuffle one.
Yeah, it was all over the place. We had a little bit of Marilyn Manson for your metal, although he's like more industrial, right? Or would you consider him new metal? His own thing. Yeah. We only had one metal song. Then we had some there's a little bit of EDM, some rap music, some indie. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great fun show. Yeah.
So you just break down each song after you hear it?
So that particular episode, we just were shuffling our iTunes. So it was like whatever pops up in your library. And then you talk about, a lot of the people that I've had on the show, like none of us are professionals. The last two guys I had they are technically music professionals. They like tour and everything. I'm certainly not a music professional. I'm like in the traditional sense. Like I don't know music theory. I don't really like read books or anything. I just kind of like listen to a lot of stuff. But everyone has their own experience with music. Doesn't matter who you are if you have ears. Even deaf people have experiences with music. They can talk about it at lengths. You know what I mean? So the emotional connection and like the stories behind songs and like what was going on in your life is way more interesting to me, and I think way more interesting to everyone else to talk about. So like when you were telling me earlier about like, oh yeah, like I don't really listen to anything that I haven't since 8th grade. You can talk at lengths about something, and you know it sounds professional because it means so much to your experience in life and like nostalgia. And I think that is a experience that people are way more like, everyone has it. You know what I mean? You can talk to anybody about music that they like, and they'll spend hours just talking your ear off. It's great.
Yeah.
So that's more what I'm going for.
It's not that I haven't listened to new music. It's more that I'm in the same genre.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I listen to, you've put me on a lot of rap and stuff, and like, but yeah, no, I know what you mean though. Music is definitely, growing up, that's definitely impactful. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Boom.
We've hit an hour and 6 minutes. Do you guys want to call it, or? Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we had a lot to talk about last night. I didn't even ask you about what you're doing in your life and stuff. Oh man.
Oh yeah. I am working. I have a job. I work for a startup. It's a I'm gonna be careful because it's federally legal. I work in the weed industry. So I work for a licensing company that licenses brands to different operators in different legal states around the country. And so we have like branded cannabis, and we help with intellectual property and a bunch of other fun stuff. So I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say.
It's okay. The average YouTube listener only gets through 6 minutes. So
okay, so
you
perfect.
can say everything.
Yeah, I'm giving it away. It's all done illegally. I'm just a pot dealer.
Yeah. Okay. Boom. Said it. No, that's definitely interesting. I started a new job Monday too. Well, not two, but I just.
You're doing valves.
Valves
right?
and manifolds, yeah, for a company in Lincolnshire, and I'm a little nervous. I haven't had a job for a couple months. And it is like,
it's not as fun as not having a job, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a thing. But yeah, no, that's interesting. So it's recreational in Colorado. Is it on the vote this year for Illinois, or it will be?
It just depends on who gets elected governor.
And Pritzker is like pretty.
Pritzker's looking good. I mean, the man spent a shit ton of money on his campaign, and I believe he said on the record that he would vote for recreational cannabis on the bill, which just from an objective standpoint, I mean, would do wonders for our state in terms of tax dollars. We're considered junk status when you look at our state's credit rating. We have like the worst in the entire country.
Yeah, it's the worst in the union.
So like more tax dollars would be a pretty cool thing for our state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have a lot of people that live in this state, which is nice. The general consensus of every analytics firm that I've researched, since I do analytics, I read a lot of reports. They say that unless Trump has like some brainworm that tells them to legalize it on the next election cycle in like 2019, by 2021, with the blue shift in the midterms that we can expect, or if somebody, we can just expect to replace Trump as well, if that happens too. Whatever the Democratic replacement would be, will legalize cannabis, and that'll probably be part of their platform if Trump doesn't do it himself. So 2021 federally legal is, I'm gonna put that down as my 2021. Call. Yeah, that's kind of like agreed upon.
It's on record
in all the in like all the circles of like cannabis analytics people.
Okay, I mean, I could definitely see that. That's solid 4 years ish from now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about time.
It's pretty long overdue.
Yeah, and that'll open up so many avenues of research, medically, that marijuana could definitely help with.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice to be home and do cannabis, because I've never done it in an illegal state. So.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
I've never
done it in Illinois because it's illegal here.
It is illegal. I have to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Only when I'm somewhere else have I ever done it.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we're at hour 10.
Okay.
You've got dinner. You were gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna get a burger, and then we're gonna meet up later or something.
Yeah, we got Allie's tonight.
See what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna call it an episode. Oh man.
We didn't play around with the.
We didn't play. I have a new effects board. Hold on, let me turn effects down right now.
I could record a tag for you if you want right now.
What?
So hit the echo.
Hold on.
It's set to echo. I already said it.
Boop.
Turn up the FX monitor on the bottom.
Well, now it's gonna go on, so anyone talks, there's gonna be a big.
Welcome to Cars, Life, and everything in between.
So I messed with this for like 45 minutes last night, and the one I did last night with I'm sure a lot of people, it's on my Snap story now, so by the time you see this will be like a couple days old. But what was it, 24? Keep it in the middle. Oh wait, no, we're on. Oh,
that's the echo.
I had to program it to 24. Boop. 24 program.
This is what changed my voice earlier. And then if I talk like this and bring it down, I become a monster.
Shouldn't have. Whoa! And that's it.
Wait, Loki, I got coverage for this exact reason.
I just spilled a beer in the mixer.
Man.
Oh man.
Tip it.
I've had that shit happen to me before with DJ. I bought a new
no,
DJ thing my senior year of high school,
damn it.
and I had some kid spill a beer on it. Broke it the first day I used it. So
Move your phone too. Move your phone.
use that insurance if you got it.
The guy at the Guitar Center was like, "Yeah, it's like $40 for 2 years," and
It's
I'm
so
like,
worth
I'm
it.
sitting there, I'm like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna need it." And you did it. One episode in with this, you already spilled beer all over it.
Oh,
it's
my
fine.
God. Here, hold it so it doesn't drip in real quick. I'm gonna get more towel.
It's fine. All
Yeah,
right.
these are pretty durable. I mean,
It's fine. We'll call
they're
it.
usually pretty fine.
Well,
Cool.
we'll call it a day there.
Can I plug stuff?
So
If
what?
anyone listens, can I plug stuff?
Yeah, plug.
Oh yeah, I already plugged my show, normal show. Listen to my normal show.
I just got so excited about the effects.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that episode on October 15th. It'll be really interesting to listen to. Also, I'm planning a concert on my birthday, February 2nd. If you're in the Denver area, get ready for that. It's gonna be lit. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Twitter at Punk Rock Extreme, Instagram at Tony Hawk Pro Skater for updates on my podcast. And yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This has been really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for coming on. This is on. You're always welcome to come on the podcast whenever you're in town.
Oh yeah.
As a guest. Yeah. So anything else to plug? That's it for now.
Yeah. Check out my SoundCloud at Sap Boys. It's my rap group.
Sap Boys.
Yeah.
Is that SAP?
SAP. Spell it out.
SAPBOYS.
Okay. Sap Boys.
Is
that with Chris and
that was Christian?
Christian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let me turn it back down to one more setting. We'll do. There we go. And yeah. Oh no. Delay. Oh fuck! I always forget to have to set it every single time. We'll get better at this. All right, everybody. That's it. Goodbye, and hope to catch you guys on the next episode of Cars, Life, and Everything in Between. That didn't sound all right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Hey, sorry about spilling beer on your brand new fucking expensive toy, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay.
My bad.
We're good. Oh, that's funny.
Jeez Louise.